in this first section, excuse me, we're getting Two of Pentacles, like a juggling, needing to make a choice, with White Buffalo Calf Woman. The prophetess of the sacred way. My heart is a compass. The path of love is true abundance. That's interesting because this is a person juggling two pentacles, and this is usually a choice that you need to make in the material realm. But if you've been having trouble making a choice, it's saying your heart is the compass and that love is the path of abundance, true abundance. But the way we learn that lesson is usually through a lot of struggles of clinging to the material realm for the wrong reasons, thinking that that's what brings us happiness, that that's the thing. And let's be real, having no money is not like fun or easy, because I've been there. It is really nice to have stability and security, and you need your basic needs met. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's tough to be joyful when, you know, you're in scarcity and survival mode. So I do understand that, but you know, a lot of us on the spiritual path will get more than we realize in terms of support and resources when we're genuinely devoted to love and to the real spiritual work. So let's see what else we're getting. Okay, we're getting Nine of Wands in the reverse. Maybe letting go of a little bit of paranoia, past pain, of the fear of like getting hurt again. And like you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot, but this is part of your kind of initiation. And it says, the Queen of Heaven and Earth, I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am. So I want to get a little bit more information here. I don't want to pull too many cards though. So let's just get like a connecting energy. Like how are these two things connecting? What's the bridge here? We got one tarot and one oracle. Okay, what's connecting these two? Yeah, like a loss card. Fear of material loss, of being left out in the cold, of losing money, of losing your security, losing your stability. And it's coming with the giving is receiving card in reverse. The Princess of Mercy, the energy of the universe is merciful. Giving is receiving. So what was I saying here? You might be scared to give more because you're afraid to get hurt. You might be hiding like a little bit, like kind of like staying hidden or not putting yourself out there in the way that you might need to because you're trying to avoid pain, and also like maybe you've been confused about what path to take because you haven't been listening to your heart. But it's the message in this universe is merciful card. And also if there is a fear of material loss or you're going through like some scarcity lesson here, then there's really something important to be said. And I'm going to read to you what that card says. What's under this deck? Yeah, look, anxiety. Nine of Swords is a lot of anxiety about the future, about fear of the unknown, what's going to happen if I make the wrong choice, I'm hearing. But just know that there are no wrong choices. Like there's only choices and then lessons and then maybe redirection later. So let's look at this Princess of Mercy. Again, that one's reversed, so there's something to be like seen here. It said she was the daughter of a king who wanted her to marry a wealthy man in order to secure more wealth and power for himself. See what I mean about doing things again out of like fear for security and stability? So it said when she refused, the king sent her to live in a monastery on a secluded island off the coast of China. When the king found out that she had transformed the barren island into a paradise, he got so angry that he ordered the monastery to be burned to the ground. But when she saw the monastery in flames, she pricked the tip of her tongue with a hairpin and magically summoned a storm that put out the fire. The king then ordered her execution, but no blade or sword could kill her. Instead, each weapon shattered into pieces before touching her body. After several attempts, a gorgeous white glowing tiger, which you can see like next to her on the card, appeared and spirited her away. The tiger took her to meet the ruler of hell. She immediately heard the suffering of the souls all around her, and one by one she liberated them with the fierce power of her empathy. Yama, the ruler of the underrealms, basically had to send her away because she was transforming hell into heaven. He gave her the peach of longevity as a gift. And then it says, and she's eating a peach in the card. You can see she's like holding it in her hand. It says she meditated for many years on this island. News reached her that the king was on the verge of death and that he needed the eyes and arms of a person without anger in order to live. She gave him, this is the father that ordered her like to be executed. She gave him her eyes and her arms. And the king was revived and came to honor the person who had saved his life. When he saw that his savior was in fact his daughter that he had sent to be executed, he fell to his knees, humbled by the extent of her mercy. So it says, empathy is the most mysterious transaction that the human soul can have, and it's accessible to all of us. But we have to give ourselves to the opportunity to identify, to plunge ourselves in a story where we see the world from the bottom up or through another's eyes or heart. Empathy is mercy's twin sister. When we can feel into the reality of someone else's suffering, and it's coming with a suffering card about someone feeling abandoned, struggling, outside in the snow, outside of the warm church, like in scarcity, and in need. It says, when we can feel into that reality, we open up to the possibility of mercy. And it comes from an old word that means exchange. Mercy is the embodiment of compassion. And it says it can feel easy or even natural to have compassion for people we love who haven't ever harmed us personally. But mercy is having compassion for someone who did. Someone who's hurt us, someone that we don't like. It says mercy requires that we give something of ourselves, which is symbolized by her giving her eyes and arms to the king. It can feel like a really big sacrifice to be so giving towards someone who's given us nothing but suffering, or maybe a lot of suffering, which is why this card is coming up kind of looking in this other direction, like I don't want to deal with this type of pain anymore. So it says, here's where the magic comes in. The law of the universe is merciful. The more we give, with clear intentions, the more we receive. When the king realized the profound act of mercy his daughter bestowed on him, she transformed into her true manifestation as Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion. So she's a reminder that giving is the true receiving. When we refuse to release our anger towards someone, we're blocking the flow of the universe within us. We're not harming the person who harmed us by staying angry. We're keeping ourselves from receiving the love and light that's already ours. Who can I give mercy to in this moment? That is the reading. Who can I give mercy to in this moment? Who is it that you need to extend some compassion towards, that you've been maybe angry with, or someone that you feel has wronged you, or left you out in the cold, maybe abandoned you, left you out to die, so to speak? I'm not saying it's that dramatic, but I'm just saying, like, it's not easy. It's a practice to be compassionate towards people who have caused us suffering. Underneath the deck is the poetess, Sappho, and it says, I love every inch of my body, and I love the women in my life fiercely. And under that is the enlightened feminine, the Dakini. My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. It's feeling like, and because this card is upright, and it's saying, I love the women in my life fiercely. I love every inch of my body. I wonder if there's also something here about not hiding away from the world, like something, maybe it was a physical thing that happened where you felt a lot of suffering. And there's something here about, let's clarify that. Why is the body card here and loving the women in your life fiercely? What is that about? The Mother of God. I am Mary of Nazareth. I am blessed. My courage gives birth to the divine. I wonder if you need to put yourself out there again. And maybe it is like towards a person. Take this with a grain of salt. This is not for everybody. But I'm just saying, I wonder if, let's get a tarot card, if there's a person maybe that you need to extend compassion to, where like in some way your body could be carrying that cellular memory of the pain, and maybe you've been like hiding away. Because it does say like, Inanna, I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am. Why is the body card and the women's card here? Two of Swords. The Star, where it's like a naked woman. That's a destiny card. Page of Swords in the reverse. Hanged Man. I feel like there's some spiritual lesson here about your own self-love, especially if you are a woman. like that your self-love and the way that you treat yourself will help you treat others with more kindness. But if you hold a lot of like judgment about yourself, even your physical body, and then it's like maybe part of your deep desires to give, like to be vulnerable and intimate with another person, even like physically, sexually, or whatever, and you're like hiding because you don't want to get hurt, because you don't want to be left out in the cold again, you don't want to be abandoned again, or whatever. Like, it feels like it's your destiny to love yourself so fiercely that you have so much left to give to others. Because in the star card, she's pouring water out from one jug and one into the water. She's got one foot in the water, and it feels like a card of overflow and abundance and generosity. And again, she's exposed, she's nude, she's underneath the star. This is an Aquarius energy of like expansion towards your highest potential. And I feel that your highest potential is to be so self-loving that your cup is in overflow and you're able to be kind and compassionate even to the people that hurt you. Doesn't mean you have to have a relationship with those people or that you need to like physically re-engage with them. It's just like if you're holding, it said, a lot of anger towards someone, you're not hurting them, you're hurting yourself. And so you might think you're hurting them, but really it's just drinking the poison. So I feel that this is the lesson right now. It's to be courageous enough to give birth to a third energy. It's like you can transform the anger or purify the anger, or you have your experience, that person has their experience. What if there's this third experience, which is like higher love, mercy? Because I'm seeing like a triangle, and I'm seeing like two people here at the corners, and then there's like this trinity, this higher energy that's being birthed from this difficult situation. And I'm also hearing like more of your destiny or your soul's path is going to unfold the more love that you can extend to these people or to this person that you've been holding like anger or resentment towards. What else do I want to say here? But there has been something that you haven't been seeing clearly. Maybe you're also being called to work with women. Like, I'm opening Rose Temple again. By the way, the page is done. I'm so happy. So if you are a woman and you're interested in my year-long like foundational program for deep feminine practice, nurturing your feminine energy for a full year in like a pretty intimate group of women, please come. It's going to be its third year that we're running it. I took last year off, and so I'm really looking forward to that. I've got the waitlist open now because I'm going to start talking about enrolling and stuff next month. So I'm looking to start in January. Yeah, one more I wanted to get. The mystic of peace. I am peace. When the mind is clear, the way is clear. Again, one of the ways that we practice compassion, I mean, like I practice Tibetan Buddhism, and compassion is like the practice that we're focused on, and that is to transform all the suffering that we can. You know, to liberate not just our own mind, but in this school, it's like if we liberate our mind, we're liberating all beings, because will become a being that doesn't see suffering anymore. So, but I mean, you know, we'll see what happens. That's the intention. Who knows where we go with it. But the point is, when the mind is clear, the path is clear. And this Two of Swords is saying your mind might not be as clear as it needs to be, but if you can meditate, go inward, and really focus right now on being compassionate and releasing the anger that you might have, any residual anger towards a person that you feel has done you dirty, maybe. The possibility here is very open for deep healing and transformation, and maybe some surprise, like a big blessing here that you can't see yet because you need to release a little bit more of your pent up frustration. And yeah, magician here, kind of in the middle, is you in your power, kind of the creatrix or creator energy. There is a transformation, I said it. Death is in the reverse. It hasn't fully unfolded yet. And then even the Empress coming upside down. Interesting that the feminine energy, the physical one, about the body, the Venusian energy, Empress is Venus energy, that's the one that's reversed. Kind of going along with I love every inch of my body. I love the women in my life fiercely, but the Empress is reversed still. But then the High Priestess is upright. The spiritual, internal feminine energy. So there might be just a bit more of the embodiment work that you need to do in terms of coming into more like unconditional love within yourself so that you can extend that. And you can't rush it. It's like, it does feel like it's in process though, but it's about, again, choosing love. In the moment where you want to choose the thing that would feel petty, or like you want to punish somebody, or again, you're just carrying the resentment with you like baggage, like your little luggage that you carry everywhere you go. Again, it's not hurting the other person, it's hurting you. So when the mind is clear, the path is clear. Get on that meditation cushion, even if it's for 60 seconds a day. Something is better than nothing. And if you want support with that, like I said, in Rose Temple, the whole core focus of that program is to develop a daily practice, spiritual practice, meditation, and or embodiment, because we do a lot of embodiment practice in that space. A lot of like dropping out of your head. It's for like ambitious women who are overthinking, living from the neck up, and don't spend any time nurturing their feminine energy, and so they're burned out, overworked, emotionally disconnected from their bodies, depressed. Do you know what I mean? Like, because if you never slow down, create stillness, turn inward, learn to listen to your intuition, then your feminine energy is being completely ignored and overlooked. Then you're not feeling radiant, you're not feeling inspired or energized. Your relationships are usually really messy because you're not receptive. You're like in like a distorted energy instead, or doing too much in that like distorted masculine, overdoing, overgiving, not knowing how to receive with ease, whether that be love, money, whatever. So a core focus of that program is a spiritual practice. So we will do that all year. And if that's not something that's consistent for you yet, it would be the place to develop that. So I'll leave it there. If I can support you in a one-to-one reading, you can book a 90-minute session, and then I send you a follow-up after our session with a few, for example, meditations to use or practices that are specific to whatever came up in the session. So it will like help you keep the momentum going and not feel like you're left hanging. And if you're a woman, like I said, that's interested in Rose Temple, the waitlist is open, so you can get on the link below. There's a level 2 Magdalene Mysteries as well that's open. That's a more intermediate space, so if you've been in Rose Temple before, or you're just coming in at a higher level, then that's also an option. They'll run simultaneously alongside one another. So that's it, you guys. I love you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend, and I will catch you guys on the next one.